Do you think of the Toyota Prius as just some sort of harmless hybrid? Think again. From its smug vibes to its soul-crushing drive, there is a reason that it is the butt of almost every automotive joke. So buckle up, slowly. Here are the top 10 reasons why this Echo box earns more eye rolls than admiration. Now first, the things we all need to know. First off, this is my first top 10 list, but there are more than a few reasons to hate the Prius. Now the Prius was first introduced in Japan in 1997 and it hit the US in 2000. Becoming the world's first mass-produced hybrid car. It was built to showcase Toyota's hybrid synergy drive, combining a gas engine with an electric motor to maximize fuel efficiency. Early production numbers were modest, only about 18,000 units in 1997, but it exploded in popularity during the mid-2000s fuel crisis, with over 1.8 million sold in the US alone by the mid-2010s. Gasoline engines varied by generation, typically a 1.5 or 1.8-liter inline-4 engine paired with an electric motor. The Prime plug-in hybrid model offered increased electric-only range, and in 2023, Toyota released a new Prius with a sleeker design and more power. And it only took them over 25 years. Weird fact, the name Prius means to go before in Latin. Ironically, it became famous for always coming after everybody else in traffic due to its famously sluggish acceleration. Everybody got that? Good. Number 10, reason to hate the Prius. Too much compromise. The Toyota Prius. The car that boldly states, I don't care what I look like as long as I'm saving a polar bear. But deep down, the reason that so many people roll their eyes at the Prius isn't just the car, it's what it represents. A rolling billboard for automotive compromise. Let's start with style versus efficiency. Prius design is wind tunnel approved, which is code for designed by a committee that hates curbs, joy, and anything remotely resembling a personality in a car. You want a car that excites you when you see it parked? Too damn bad. You get a wedge with headlights. Then there's speed versus sustainability. The Prius accelerates like it's apologizing for existing. Merging onto the highway, pack a lunch. It might be saving the environment, but it's also killing your soul at 0 to 60 in eventually. And who could forget the creepy silence? At low speeds, it glides along like a ghost with a smug carbon footprint. Pedestrians don't hear it coming. Honestly, neither do their nightmares. But here's the kicker. A huge number of owners don't even like their Prius. It's not a dream car. It's a guilt car. It's the beige sweater of vehicles. Practical? Yes. Comfortable? Sure. But would you wear it to a party? Exactly. No, you wouldn't. In the end, the Prius isn't hated for what it is. It's hated for what it forces us to admit. Sometimes being responsible means being pretty damn boring. Number 9 reason to hate the Prius. It's the punchline of way too many jokes. Now, the Toyota Prius is one of the most mocked cars on the internet and late-night television. And it earned that trophy fair and square. Comedians, memes, and car enthusiasts have turned this fuel-sipping EcoPod into a cultural punching bag. Why? Because it practically begs for it. From its smug aura to its wind-resistant shoebox design, the Prius is an automotive version of the hall monitor. Technically, it's helpful, but nobody wants to hang out with it. It represents everything unfun about responsible choices. It's quiet, slow, oddly shaped, and often driven like people who act like saving gas gives them a license to judge everybody else at a red light. The car becomes a meme because it forgot the golden rule. You can't be boring and self-righteous. And the jokes? Oh, they're glorious. Now here's just a couple from a short internet search. The Prius is the only car that comes with a built-in superiority complex. It's not a real car, it's a passive-aggressive vehicle suggestion. Driving a Prius is like wearing socks with sandals, forever. If a toaster and an anal suppository had a baby, it would look like a Prius. A Prius won't get you laid, but it'll get you talked about in therapy a lot. Now, where there's smoke, there's usually burning rubber, but in the Prius's case, it's the smell of shame and battery coolant. It might save the planet, but it can't save itself from being the punchline. Number 8 reason to hate the Prius. The Prius killed the manual transmission dream. Now, this is the car that single-handedly murdered the manual transmission dream with all the emotion of an Excel spreadsheet. Once upon a time, real drivers rode their own gears, felt the road, and actually engaged with their machines. Then the Prius came along with its CVT, continuously variable transmission, and smug fuel economy, whispering, "Shh, driving should be quiet, smooth, and absolutely joyless." Manual drivers love control, connection, and the satisfaction of a perfect downshift. They don't just go from point A to B, they dance through traffic. Meanwhile, Prius owners prefer a car that feels like an Uber that never left. Push button, glide forward, contemplate your life choices. Let's be real, manual drivers enjoy being part of the machine. They love the feeling when they heel toe a corner or they stall out in traffic just to feel something. Automatics, that's for people who treat driving like brushing their teeth, a necessary chore done with minimal effort. The Prius doesn't just ditch the stick shift, it made the case that driving should be as sterile as possible. No shifting, no engine noise, just a silent battery hum and your own existential dread. And the worst part, it was popular. Suddenly every car maker thought, hey, maybe we should stop making manuals too. And just like that, gearheads across the world shed a tear while a Prius rolled silently past, probably in the left lane, doing 52 in a 65. Number 7 reason to hate the Prius. So silent, it's creepy. The Toyota Prius is famously quiet, eerily quiet. So quiet, in fact, it's less a car and more of a stealth mode death trap. This isn't the soothing silence of a luxury EV, it's the creepy, tiptoe across the room kind of quiet that makes animals flee, pedestrians jump, and other drivers mutter, where the hell did that thing come from? Let's start with pedestrians. You're crossing a parking lot, you're enjoying your day, and suddenly, bam, a Prius appears out of thin air 3 feet behind you, silently judging your carbon footprint on your Nikes. No engine rev, no tire noise, just the faint hum of smugness and lithium ion. Animals are not spared either. Squirrels, dogs, even birds have no idea it's coming. Nature adapted to V8 rumble and diesel clatter, not this ninja glider creeping through neighborhoods like a ghost in yoga pants. And then there's the other drivers. Ever try changing lanes and suddenly there's a Prius in your blind spot like it materialized there? It didn't pass you, it snuck past. Prius drivers do not honk. They just appear and they expect you to deal with it. It's no wonder regulators had to require artificial noise at low speeds. Turns out, when your car is quieter than your thoughts, it becomes a public safety hazard. The Prius is not just a car, it's a vehicular ninja with a soft spot for saving the planet and scaring the hell out of anything with ears. Number 6 reason to hate the Prius. Battery replacement is a horror show. Now, savior of the planet, destroyer of your bank account, right around 150,000 miles. Now that's when the hybrid battery, the magical box of eco-friendly wizardry in the Prius, finally says, I've done my part, now pay the fiddler. Prius owners live with a constant, unspoken anxiety. Every time they start the car past 100,000 miles, there's that slight hesitation. Is today the day? Not the day the engine fails, no. The day the battery quietly dies like a laptop left out in the sun. And when it goes, it doesn't just ask for $100 or a jump start. It demands about $5,000 and sometimes, maybe all the time, more, depending on how unlucky you are and how much the dealer enjoys watching you panic. And let's not forget the hassle. It's not like a quick swap like changing a tire or topping off your washer fluid. It's a multi-day ordeal with diagnostic tests, shipping delays, and your mechanic constantly saying, yeah, these things happen. Of course, some Prius diehards say, well, it's still cheaper than buying a new car. Sure, just ignore the fact that you bought the Prius to save money, not take out a second mortgage on 150,000 miles. Even worse, many owners try to sell their Prius right before the big battery blowout. It's like musical chairs, but with $5,000 on the line and the next person's problem quietly humming in the background. Saving gas is great, right up until the car saves up a bill that costs you more than it's worth. Number 5, reason to hate the Prius. The center console looks a lot like a microwave. The Toyota Prius center console is a true masterpiece of confusion and questionable taste. It's as if Toyota's design team asked, Well, what if we made a spaceship cockpit but ugly and kind of irritating to use? Mission accomplished. First off, the gear selector is a tiny blue plastic joystick that feels more like a game controller than a shifter. Slide it into B, which apparently does something, maybe magic, I don't know, and good luck explaining to your friends why your car now sounds like it's powering for a liftoff. The multi-screen setup was supposed to be futuristic, but it really just looks like somebody duct-taped a Tamagotchi to a calculator. You've got your speed readout in the center, not behind the wheel like a normal car, mind you, but because heaven forbid you glance forward while driving forward. Then there's buttons everywhere, and none of them are where you'd expect. Need to change the climate settings? Prepare to take a 3-click journey through the infotainment maze. Want to open the glove box? Trick question. It's hidden between 6 layers of mild regret. And let's talk about the appearance. Plastic as far as the eye can see. It's like Toyota raided the leftover parts bin from a 2002 minivan and said, yeah, this is going to impress everybody. In short, the Prius console is the perfect mix of unnecessary tech and questionable design choices wrapped in the charm of a broken office printer. Modern? Sure. Pleasant? Not even close. Number 4 reason to hate the Prius. It ruined freeway driving. The Toyota Prius ruined the carpool lane for everyone. Once governments started handing out those HOV Diamond Lane stickers to hybrids like candy, the Prius descended on the fast lane like a swarm of sluggish, silently smug turtles. Let's talk about the engine, or more accurately, the blender-grade motor that somehow counts as an engine. With a 0 to 60 time that can be measured with a sundial, the Prius was never meant for speed. It was meant for maximizing miles per gallon while minimizing your joy. So naturally, when it hit the carpool lane, it didn't accelerate, it occupies space. Before the Prius invasion, carpool lanes were an oasis for quick and efficient, fast travel. After the Prius came out, it's a moving funeral procession of 60-mile-an-hour eco heroes in a 75 zone, proudly coasting on battery power while a train of Teslas, minivans, and caffeine-fueled commuters scream silently behind them. What made it worse? Prius drivers knew they were slowing everybody down, and they did not care. They've had a smug sense of environmental superiority and a dashboard flower graphic growing leaves for every mile they didn't use gas. Meanwhile, those of us behind them grew ulcers. Now, the Prius didn't just get into the carpool lane, it clogged it, politely, efficiently, and with the aerodynamic flair of a sad teardrop. Saving the planet's great. Just maybe not at 57 miles an hour in the fast lane, Karen. Number 3 reasons to hate the Prius. Driving it is considered cruel and unusual punishment in some countries. Now, driving a Prius is a lot like being sentenced to a lifetime of automotive mildness. It's not just a car, it's a punishment disguised as an eco-friendly savior. The moment you slide into the driver's seat, you realize you're not in for a thrilling ride, but a soft, slow, soul-sapping journey into energy efficiency. First up, the suspension. Calling it soft is generous. It's more like floating on a cloud made of marshmallows if those marshmallows had no bounce and occasionally just sank into quicksand. Every bump is politely absorbed, but the result is a vague sense of disconnect, like driving a couch down a freeway. Then there's the steering, which might as well be controlled by a committee of sloths. There's no bite, no feedback, no excitement, just a bland, numb response that makes you wonder if your hands are even attached to the wheels. Want to feel the road? No. This car makes you stay blissfully unaware of what's going on beneath those tires. And let's not forget, once again, the engine power, or lack thereof. Merging onto the highway feels like asking a turtle to run a marathon. The Prius's acceleration is so sluggish, you might as well start drinking coffee while waiting for your speed to catch up. In short, driving a Prius is a lot like attending a very polite, very boring lecture on how to drive without enjoying it. But hey, at least you're still saving the planet, right? It's got to wear on you after a while. Number 2, reasons to hate the Prius. It's an ugly automotive lump. Now, the Toyota Prius is a shining beacon of what happens when form follows function, but function forgot to invite form to the party. Let's just say the Prius's design is memorable. in a please don't look at me kind of way. Start with the exterior. The Prius looks like a car that got caught in a wind tunnel and came out looking like a squashed loaf of bread. It's aerodynamic, sure. If by aerodynamic you mean a flying wedge designed by someone who really hated curves, the awkward angles and sharp edges scream, I'm saving the planet, but I don't care if you think I'm ugly doing it. Some say it resembles a futuristic spaceship. Others, a discarded calculator with headlights. Either one paints a bit of a picture. Step inside and the interior is no less inspiring. The dashboard looks like it was designed by a committee of tech geeks who never actually sat in a car. Buttons scattered in odd places, a center console that feels like an alien control panel, and materials that can best be described as budget plastic chic. It's the kind of cabin that makes you wonder if Toyota thought, who needs luxury when you can have confusing? The color options don't help either. Pastels, metallic blues, and greens that make the car look like it's perpetually stuck in environmentally friendly mode. All told, the Prius design is a triumph, if your goal is to make people look twice and then quickly look away in shame. It's the automotive equivalent of an awkward handshake with clammy palms. And finally, number one reason to hate the Prius. The arrogance. The Prius owner driver. The Toyota Prius owner. A rare breed who doesn't just drive a car, but broadcasts their moral superiority with every silent, sluggish mile. If the Prius had a personality, it would be smugness incarnate, and its drivers, well, they've perfected the art of holier-than-thou echo attitude like it's an Olympic sport. Get within 5 feet of them, they'll tell you all about it. Pull up next to a Prius on a stoplight, you can almost hear the unspoken message, I'm saving the planet where you're still guzzling gas like an old muscle car. There's a quiet judgment in those Prius drivers' eyes. They don't even know what's wrong with that look. It's a knowing smirk that says, enjoy your burger and leather seats. I'm off to hug a tree now. These drivers often treat their cars as a badge of virtue and not just transportation. You'll spot them lecturing anybody within earshot about their low emissions, regenerative braking, or how much they've reduced their carbon footprint, usually while idling in traffic, ironically wasting energy. And if you ever get a chance, Google the carbon footprint of what it goes into making a Prius. It's hideous. And don't even think about cutting them off. Prius owners will give you the slowest, most passive-aggressive brake tap known to man. A rolling protest that says, how dare you disrespect the environment and my Prius? In short, Prius owners have mastered the art of eco-arrogance. They're not just driving a hybrid, they're driving a megaphone for their self-righteousness. Whether you love them or hate them, one thing's clear. Their Prius isn't just a car. It's a sermon of what a bad person you are on 4 wheels. Well, that's it for today's episode. I hope it made you hate the Prius as much as their owners do. Do me a favor and watch more of my videos. You can even join the channel, get some exclusives, video shoutouts, and even watch all the videos and shorts ahead of everybody else. Take care. Have a great day.